Once we arrived at the tiny town of Washington, we stopped at the little store to borrow the church key. After buying some groceries, we headed off to find the church. It was a perfect day, sunshine and blue sky. We were in for a real treat. What a beautiful church! The first church of Sabbath-keeping Adventists. Back in 1842, when the church was built, it was in the middle of a busy farming community. Today, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a very peaceful place, though. There are many interesting stories connected with this church. I especially like the one of Rachel Oakes, a Seventh-day Baptist who came to visit her daughter, Delight, in 1843. She attended a communion service at the church where circuit-riding preacher Frederick Willer was speaking. Mrs. Oakes could hardly stay in her seat as he spoke about keeping the commandments. Later, she talked to him about the fourth commandment and the seventh-day Sabbath. This preacher then studied and quickly became a Sabbath believer. Later, other members, including members of the Farnsworth family, decided to keep the seventh-day Sabbath and to break away from the main church. The believers then met in home. The Farnsworth home isn't very far from the church. William Farnsworth was one of the first in the area to accept the Millerite message that Jesus would come soon. He became a leader along with his younger brother Cyrus. Across the road and down the hill from the Farnsworth house is Millen Pond. The Farnsworth kids probably learned to swim in this pond. But this was a very special place for the early believers who were baptized here. Even in the middle of the winter, some broke the ice to be baptized before Jesus was expected to come. We found quite a few names we recognize in the cemetery right beside the church. Many from the Farnsworth family are buried here. They died believing that Jesus was coming very soon. It was fun to sit right here and read about some of the important events that took place at this church. By the 1850s, there were more Sabbath keepers than Sunday believers, so this church once more became the meeting house for some of the first Seventh-day Adventist believers. Since this church was so important to the beginning of the Sabbath message, it's a perfect place for a Sabbath trail. This trail is 1 mile long and includes 31 stops with large rocks that tell about the Sabbath, from creation to the new earth. We stopped to read and take pictures of each rock along the trail. I learned a lot about the Sabbath. This was such a beautiful place that we didn't want to leave. The last picture we took was of Jared and I holding Papa's tour guide booklet at the front of the church. We called Papa right after that and told him about the awesome afternoon we had spent here at the Washington New Hampshire church.